Okay, I'll admit it. The first time I saw Hieronymus Bosch's The Garden of Earthly Delights, I wasn't sure whether I was looking at a medieval masterpiece or the fever dream of someone who ate one too many questionable mushrooms. Giant strawberries? Naked people riding oversized ducks? A bird-headed demon? On a toilet? It's like Bosch decided to skip the Bible and illustrate humanity's collective search history instead. But this isn't just weird for weirdness' sake. I think this 500-year-old triptych is one of the most sophisticated, unsettling, and downright hilarious works of art ever created. It's a painting that asks big questions about sin, pleasure, and humanity's inevitable downfall, while also making you wonder why there's a guy serenading his friends with music written on his butt. Hieronymus Bosch wasn't actually named Hieronymus Bosch. Born Jeroen van Aken around 1450 in his Hertogenbosch, Netherlands, he adopted his hometown as his professional name. It was probably a smart move. Jeroen van Aken's Garden of Earthly Delights doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Bosch was a devout Catholic and member of the illustrious Brotherhood of Our Lady, which sounds like a medieval boy band but was actually a religious organization devoted to the Virgin Mary. Despite his religious affiliations, or perhaps because of them, Bosch created some of the most fantastical and nightmarish imagery in Western art. The Garden of Earthly Delights was painted when Bosch was approaching his 50s, proving it's never too late to create something that will baffle humanity for centuries. The painting was commissioned by Engelbert II of Nassau for his palace in Brussels, making us wonder what kind of dinner parties Engelbert was hosting. It's a 3-panel painting. The left panel shows us the Garden of Eden, a seemingly innocent beginning. The massive center panel depicts, well, that's where things get complicated. And the right panel? Let's just call it consequences. A hellscape so creative in its torments that it makes Dante look like an amateur. So why has this bizarre artwork captivated viewers for centuries? Perhaps because, unlike most religious art of its time, Bosch wasn't just trying to illustrate Bible stories. He was creating his own visual language, one filled with symbols and meanings that we're still trying to decode today. Or maybe people just really like looking at naked people riding weird unicorns. Art is subjective after all. Let's start our journey where Bosch did, in the Garden of Eden. At first glance, this seems like the most straightforward panel. God, who looks suspiciously like Jesus, introduces Adam to his new girlfriend, Eve. Adam looks appropriately impressed, though perhaps a bit unsure about this whole no-clothes policy. But already, Bosch is hinting that paradise isn't as perfect as advertised. Look closely and you'll spot the serpent, lurking in the background, already plotting the fall of humanity. And then there are the animals. Sure, some are normal. Elephants, giraffes, lions. But others seem to have escaped from a medieval cryptozoologist's notebook. Take this 3-headed bird, for instance. Was this something Bosch dreamed up? Or did he genuinely believe such creatures existed in some unexplored corner of the world? Either way, it's clear that Bosch's Eden isn't the simple paradise we might expect. What's particularly interesting is how Bosch portrays God in this scene. Rather than the typical old bearded man, he appears as a youthful Christ figure, a theological choice that suggests Christ was present from the beginning of creation. The overall mood of this panel is one of eerie calm before the storm. Everything seems peaceful, but there's an undercurrent of unease. It's like the opening scene of a horror movie where everyone's happy, and you just know things are about to go terribly wrong. Spoiler alert, they do. And now we arrive at the centerpiece of this bizarre triptych, the panel that gives the whole work its name. Welcome to the Garden of Earthly Delights, where things get, well, delightful, but in ways that probably made 15th century viewers clutch their pearls. This sprawling landscape is absolutely teeming with nude figures engaging in various activities that can best be described as enjoying themselves thoroughly. There are people riding oversized birds, swimming in crystal clear ponds, frolicking in meadows, and, in a particularly memorable image, nibbling on strawberries the size of Volkswagens. Nothing says earthly delight, quite like sharing a strawberry this size with a few close friends. One has to wonder if Bosch had simply never seen a strawberry before, or if he was making a statement about gluttony. Either way, these may be the world's first food influencers, medieval Instagram models posing with oversized snacks. But what exactly is Bosch trying to tell us with this bizarre bacchanal? That's where scholars disagree, and where things get really interesting. Some interpret this panel as a warning, a depiction of humanity indulging in sin before their inevitable punishment. Others believe Bosch might be satirizing humanity's obsession with paradise and the afterlife. After all, there's something slightly ridiculous about these scenes. Unlike the hellish torments to come, which are depicted with gruesome specificity, the pleasures here have a dreamy, almost abstract quality. People float in bubbles, swim through transparent globes, and lounge inside structures that defy physics. Take this strange blue globe in the background. Through its circular window, we can see intimate interactions between figures, a painting within the painting that adds yet another layer of narrative. Bosch isn't just showing us a scene, he's creating worlds within worlds, stories within stories. The genius of this panel is its ambiguity. Is it a condemnation of sin or a celebration of pleasure? A warning or an invitation? Bosch isn't telling. He's simply showing us humanity in all its naked fruit-eating, bird-riding glory and letting us draw our own conclusions, which is pretty bold for a 15th century religious painter. If the middle panel shows us the party, this is definitely the hangover, and what a hangover it is. Bosch's vision of hell breaks dramatically from traditional religious depictions of his time. Instead of the standard lake of fire approach, he gives us a battlefield of surreal tortures that seem specifically designed for each sinner's particular vice. Take this charming fellow, for instance, a bird-headed monster sitting on what appears to be a toilet throne, devouring people and then, well, let's just say, recycling them into an abyss below. Art historians believe this represents punishment for gluttony. The message is clear. You are what you eat, and eventually, you'll be eaten too. And here we have what might be history's most painful orchestra. Those who indulged in secular music in life are now tortured by the very instruments they once played. One poor soul is splayed across a harp, another crushed beneath a lute. Speaking of music, this panel contains what might be the world's oldest playable piece of butt music. Elsewhere, we see the greedy being forced to excrete coins, the vain staring at their reflections in a demon's mirror, and the lustful being tortured. Bosch wasn't subtle about his message. Sin leads to suffering, and the suffering fits the sin. What's particularly striking about Bosch's hell is how industrialized it appears. This isn't just random suffering, it's organized, systematic torture. Demons operate machines, process sinners through various contraptions, and generally run hell like a terrifyingly efficient factory. 6 centuries before Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times, Bosch was already commenting on the dehumanizing nature of industrial processes. What makes Bosch's masterpiece so enduringly fascinating is its perfect balance of meaning and mystery. It's clearly saying something profound about human nature, sin, and consequences. But exactly what it's saying remains open to interpretation. It's like a 500-year-old Rorschach test, revealing as much about the viewer as it does about itself. So next time you find yourself in Madrid's Prado Museum, take some time with this strange and wonderful triptych. Look closely at the details, ponder the mysteries, and maybe be grateful that, whatever flaws our world might have, at least we don't have to worry about being eaten by bird-headed monsters or forced to play the butt harp for eternity. Or perhaps, the real message of the Garden of Earthly Delights is simpler than we think. Maybe Bosch was just trying to tell us, life is short, paradise is fleeting, hell is weird. So be good, be kind, And whatever you do, stay away from oversized strawberries.